Here are my grades for the 7 first-year Power Conference head coaches in the 2025 season, starting with Rich Rodriguez, who reunites with West Virginia. I'm going to give him a B. They brought in some solid talent through the transfer portal. According to Rodriguez, they'll have like 75 new players on the roster this year, but they did maintain a bit of talent from last season's roster as well. So I do really like what he did as a whole. I think West Virginia will be a better team this year, especially offensively. Next up, we've got Jimmy Rogers at Washington State. This one's a little bit more under the radar. I know some people don't consider Washington State a power conference school anymore, but he brought in a lot of his talented players from South Dakota State, and they went and made some impressive hires that I really like. So overall, this is an A offseason. I am very pleasantly surprised with what he did. They might not be an insane winner this year, but down the stretch, I think they're going to have a lot of success under Rogers. Jake Dickard at Wake Forest gets a B+. He made some solid staff additions like new offensive coordinator Rob Easel, and then his defensive staff I also think is pretty stout, but as a roster, they didn't get much better. They did get some talented players, but they should have probably a rough season this year, but still overall a positive offseason. Scott Frost at UCF gets a C-. They made a few questionable hires such as Alex Grinch as their new defensive coordinator, and they really did try to overhaul this roster through the portal, but you get a sense that they whiffed on a few of the guys they would have liked to have, and they don't have a lot of the pieces in place that they want to this season. Frank Reich at Stanford gets a D-. To be fair to him, there's not a lot of things he could have done with the short amount of time he was given and the situation he inherited, but a lot of very talented players for Stanford ended up hitting the portal. They did have some victories like Dylan Rizek coming to town, but overall it was a negative offseason. Barry Odom at Purdue gets a C. He did what he could this offseason with how dire the situation was at Purdue, and that was with a massive portal overhaul. They got several victories, but definitely still have many holes on this roster just because of the situation Purdue football was in. And finally, with Bill Belichick, I'm going to give him an A-. Everything that was football related this offseason, they absolutely nailed. I love the fact that he kept some of the existing infrastructure with this team as well to try and ease into this first season. It's just the negative PR, the Jordan Hudson stuff, the weird interview crap that puts this at an A- because it's a genuine concern from this offseason. Will that affect the locker room? Some other football related stuff potentially? I certainly hope not, but it did actually affect this grade. It could have been an A+.